This Florida man was told he's not a legal U.S. citizen after living in this country for over 64 years. I'm Grant Warrington, and I became financially free through investing in real estate, and now I get to make videos for you all day. This is a crazy video, and you're not going to believe this story. Check it out.
Outside Jimmy Class's mobile home in Clearwater. Symbols of American pride hang not just front and center, but on the side of his home, in the back. America is, after all, the only home this 66-year-old has ever known.
I moved to the U.S. in 1959.
How long have you been here?
64 years.
But after more than a half of...
Well, it looks like he's got all the documentation there. I see the social security card, the license. By the way, sweet pool table. I love that. Love pool. So it's looking to me like this is absolutely crazy. So let's find out what happens here.
Than a half of a century in the U.S. where he's lived, worked, went to school, got married, had kids, paid his taxes.
Mr. Class, you will be entitled to retirement benefits.
Even voted. Class says in 2020...
Instead of receiving my first check...
he discovered...
I didn't have any thoughts.
He's not a U.S. citizen.
I just was like blindsided.
Class says it all came to light after he applied for the social...
Wow, this guy has voted. He has all the documentation. He's lived in the country longer than I've been alive. No one has ever caught this through the whole time. No one's ever said, excuse me, sir, you can't apply for this license because you're illegal. This blows my mind. So in here, $1,649 per month. That's his Social Security that he's supposed to get, and they're denying this. That's his retirement. He's gonna live off that. I also want to point out that $1,649, if you're depending on Social Security, is not a lot of money. So you need to really plan for that and be ready, because one day you're going to want to retire and you need to make sure you're going to have enough money to retire in the future.
After he applied for the Social Security benefits he paid into his entire working life.
You gotta be kidding me. You know, 1 month you tell me I should expect my first check, second Wednesday of 2020, but instead I get a letter stating that I haven't proven to them that I'm here legally.
So they tell the guy, you're good, here's how much you get, happy retirement. Thanks for paying all those taxes over all those years, you're good to go, right? So he's excited. Then all of a sudden, a month or so later, they send him a letter and say, oh, by the way, scratch all that I just told you. You are not a U.S. citizen. I started investing in apartment units between 5 to 20 units because I never wanted to work a job I hated again. If you want to learn how to do it too, click the link below this video. Now, let's get back to it.
You see, Class was born in Canada, his mom Canadian, but his father American, born and raised in New York.
This is Dad?
Yep, that's Dad.
The family moved to the U.S. when Class was 2 and stayed here.
That's me as a Boy Scout.
In America.
The dude was a Boy Scout. Come on, we can't cut him any slack for that.
In America.
As he got older, he says he just assumed he, too, was American, a dual citizen. Documents he laid out for us are a glimpse of his deep roots in the U.S.
So to me, it looks like, hey, this guy is American. I can't believe that him paying into taxes, his Social Security for all these years, I can't believe that he's having to go through this. But am I wrong? Am I wrong about this? Do you see it a different way? Since maybe he didn't go through the proper channels that it seems like he wasn't aware he had to go through. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to discuss it with you if you see it another way. But to me, this is clear, cut and dry. This needs to be fixed. Let's get this guy this Social Security that he deserves.
This is when you know you're old, when the old driver's licenses were paper.
Roots, he says, were never questioned. Not when he got his Social Security card, driver's license, or voter registration card.
I've been voting for over 40 years.
This guy's a pack rat too, by the way. I just gotta say, he keeps all of his licenses and everything he's ever had. So I don't know, maybe he's been preparing for this moment knowing he's got to keep all his documentation. Who knows? There's always two sides to every story, but I'm still on his side. Let's see what happens.
I guess I'm in a lot of trouble.
Class was even approved to serve as a Marine for the U.S. military.
I signed up to defend this country.
and worked for the New Jersey State Police. His citizenship status, never an issue, he says.
Okay, that should have a ton of weight. He's a veteran and worked for the police force. Somebody needs to get involved with this and fast track this through, and let's get this guy the money that he deserves.
The only thing they asked me for was my social security card and my driver's license.
After he learned he wasn't really a U.S. citizen, he formally applied for status, but was denied. U.S. Immigration Services wouldn't share details with us, stating they don't talk about individual cases. But in this 2022 denial letter, the agency stated Class didn't provide enough evidence to prove his father lived in the U.S. for 10 years before Class was born, a requirement.
So this blows my mind. Let's be honest. There's illegals crossing the border in Texas right now as you're watching this video, and it's getting out of hand. I think we all can agree on that. And when they cross, they're actually giving them money, and in some instances, a plane ticket to anywhere they want to go to in the country. This is incredible. So people cross the border illegally and they give them money, plane tickets, and cater to them. And this gentleman has lived here for over 60 years. He's paid taxes, property taxes, voted, has all the legal documentation, and yet they still, one, don't want to discuss this certain case. Two, they are going to possibly deport him because they now know that he's living here illegally. So this is really getting bad.
I've seen a handful of cases like this. They don't come around every day.
Indira Demine is a Fort Myers-based immigration attorney. She says Class's case is a reflection of a large, complicated, and changing U.S. immigration system that can't always accurately track who's here legally, illegally, or somewhere in between.
For many years, the DMV, the different agencies didn't necessarily communicate with each other. And
maybe we should get rid of some of the agencies then. How does that sound? Maybe if we streamline the government a little bit more, maybe these people would be able to communicate with each other, because we seem to hear that a lot, don't we? Well, we have all these agencies and they have a problem communicating with each other. I got an idea. Let's get rid of them. Some of them. Obviously, we need some, but geez, wouldn't that solve a problem?
And so the documentation that you need to renew your driver's license or for the Social Security benefits were not as stringent as they are now.
How did he get issued a Social Security card, though?
That's a good question. Quite possible that back then, the requirements they have a social is just not the same as it is today.
So is it fair, though, that he was issued a Social Security card, he got his Social Security taxes withheld, he worked all of his life, he paid his taxes?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I worked my 50 years and I paid into my Social Security. They should be paying me.
What happens if this doesn't get resolved?
Well, I guess they get to give my money to someone else.
Will it make you look at America differently?
I'll probably move back to Canada.
You would consider leaving?
Yep.
Okay, let's not get out of control. Let's not move back to Canada, because I think you're in the best country in the world. You know it, and I think we can get this resolved. I got a tip for him because I know what I would tell him personally on how to resolve this. I'm going to save that until the end of the video because I know this should be getting resolved, and I think you do too. Let me know in the comments what you think. Again, am I wrong on this? Am I missing something? Let me know.
Leaving?
Yep. And say bye-bye, America.
Class says he contacted Senator Rubio's office, hired an immigration attorney, even a genealogist to dig up records to help him in his fight, a fight that continues. I'm My-Team investigator Katie LaGrone, taking action for you.
This is absolutely crazy. So this gentleman needs this to get resolved. What I would do is I would reach out to my state House of Representative and I would talk to them about it. That's what they're there for. He did reach out to his senator, so that's great. And I hope he gets traction there, but I would get everyone I could involved in this. I love that he contacted the news, and now we're all aware of that. And if you could share this story, that would be great. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and I'm gonna bring you more content about things like this in the future. Here's another video I know you're gonna like and probably have a hard time believing that one as well. Don't forget, subscribe and like, and I'll see you in this video.